Alright guys, welcome to another episode. Of course, this is NinjaGaijin. And today's episode is going to be about working in Japan, right? And what to expect. Specifically as an English teacher. Now, I've been an English teacher now for 6 years, so I have a pretty good gist of what to expect if you come here and you're working as an ALT, which is an assistant language teacher. I can tell you that for one thing, it all really depends on the atmosphere at your school. Some schools, they're more willing to use you than others. By that I mean there are some schools that you might go and your primary role will be a tape recorder, and it sounds bad, and it is pretty bad, but basically in the classroom you'd be asked, okay, read this text, repeat after you for some vocabularies, and that would be the gist of your being used in the classroom. And then on the flip side, there's some teachers who are awesome, and they plan lessons with you, get your input. You'll occasionally be asked to do your own private lessons, meaning like your own lesson. Basically, the teacher is just kind of the observer, and you're the one actually doing everything. And those are cool too. So how's it like? What's a normal day like? So let's see. When I first go to a new school, the first thing that I do is my self-introduction lesson, right? Self-introduction lesson, what does that include? That's a PowerPoint presentation that I talk about, my name, where I'm from, how old I am, what I like, what I don't like, some hobbies. I go through the list. And then after the basic introduction, normal day is I go to work in the morning. Depends on the school, depends on the city you work in, but sometimes your starting time will be 8:15, 8:30, and then your leaving time will be anywhere. My earliest leaving time was when I was a jet. It was like 3:45, and then sometimes it'll be 4, 4:15, 4:30. Once again, it depends on the city you work in and your type of contract, but usually within that time frame. So you go to school, you'll have your own desk. It's interesting that in Japan, it is kind of like if you watch anime, it's like all the teachers are in one room, literally just rows of tables. Right next to you will be a teacher on both sides, possibly. It's like islands of, how can I say this? Islands of desks. It's not like in America where each teacher has their own private room. No. In Japan, in the schools, the only teacher or individual who has private room is the principal. And that's it. So that's one thing to expect. So I go in, I sit down, I set up my stuff. Now, in my case, I have I bring my own laptop to school. The schools, they have their own laptops, but they're very slow. They're like Intel Duo 2 or something like that, really old, and the internet is highly blocked. Like, you can still go on the internet, but you can't, for example, you can't go to like Google Images, if you want to download images for a presentation or something like that. It's really difficult. So I have my own pocket Wi-Fi that I use. My pocket Wi-Fi is through AU, which is just a Japanese company here. They're mainly for cell phones. They're cell phone providers, but they also provide the pocket Wi-Fi as well. So I take all my stuff out, I set it up, I look at my schedule. Now, a normal day is anywhere between maybe 3 to 5 classes. There's a maximum of 6 classes per day. How it works is you have 4 classes in the morning, you have lunch, and then you have the remaining 2 classes. And usually after 6th period is the cleaning time. So the students will go and start cleaning the halls, outside area, etc. Depending on the school, sometimes they'll ask you to help out cleaning, sometimes they won't. For the schools that don't, it's up to you, your prerogative. If you want to ask and say, where can I help out, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to direct you to where to help out. And then, you go to your class. Each class in a junior high school is 50 minutes long. 50-minute long classes. For elementary school, it's 45 minutes long. If you're primarily going to an elementary school, how it works is you have 2 classes, then there's a 20-minute recess, and then you have 2 more classes, then lunch, then you have a 20-minute recess, then you have cleaning time, and then you have your last 2 classes. So it's a little bit different than your junior high school, but minus the 5 minutes per class and plus 2 recesses, right? Recesses are really cool. You can go out, play with the kids. I remember when I first got to Japan, it was the first time in a long time I was able to just kind of go on the swings. Really fun, because all elementary schools here in Japan, they have the swings and have like a nice, decent playground, which is really cool. I know growing up, my schools, they definitely did not have that, but yeah, so you hang out with the kids, play with them. One of the popular games at elementary schools, especially with the younger children, like grade 1 through 3, is onigoko, which is just tag. One person counts to 10, and then you have to go and tag people, and whoever you tag, then they become it. Right? Who's it, I guess. And then, you play that game. So that's really popular. Usually a lot of people will also be playing soccer. Or one other thing is they also are really good here riding unicycles. Almost every student in Japan, they can ride a unicycle, which is really cool. I tried. I'm horrible at it. Really not good at balancing stuff. So that definitely did not happen well. And then some other things is to expect. Let's see, junior high school, they don't have a recess, but after lunch, about like 10-15 minutes, some students at some schools, they go outside and they play dodgeball, but not all the time. Most of the students are indoor. They're either studying or reading their manga books, stuff like that. As far as like what to expect as far as the students' behaviors, you'll notice that in elementary school they're much more receptive to English. They love raising their hands. They love speaking and trying to speak in English, which is great. But then once they hit the junior high school level, you notice that a lot of students, they get very shy and more reserved. And that's really, to be honest with you, a really unfortunate aspect, like that they get shy like that. They don't want to stick out, and of course it's not true for all classes, all schools, but by and large you'll notice that there's a giant drop in the student participation in your English classes between elementary school and junior high school. Elementary schools here have up to 6 grades, and then junior high school is 3, and then high school is 3. So it's a little bit different than in America. In America you got the 5, 3, 4, and here they got the 6, 3, 3. It still equals the same number. It's just how they separate the schools. During lunchtime, everyone has what they call is a kyushiku, which is school lunch. It's a set menu. They have a calendar. They can see what they're having each day. Almost all students eat it. There are some students who have allergies, etc., and they bring their own box lunch. But I would say like 99% eat the school lunch, regardless what it is. One interesting thing is they can actually like reduce the amount. Like basically at first, each student gets a set of portion, and then after you're able to add to it or reduce it. So you'll have some students who will go and like empty out their rice and only eat a little bit of rice, or the extra food, like let's say if there's chicken, some students will put extra chicken, or if a student's missing, there's going to be extra drinks. And the standard drink in Japan for the kyushiku, for the school lunch, is actually milk. Sometimes there's tea, but most of the time it's milk. And usually if, like, let's say 2 people or 3 people want the last milk, they do rock, paper, scissors. A lot of the times when they want to decide something in Japan, they do rock, paper, scissors, which is kind of interesting. And, you know, that's my daily life, you know. And then after school, all the students, they have their club activities. Some schools, they mandate it. Some schools, they don't. It depends on the location. And then the students, they go home. Like at one of my schools, most of them actually live like 30 minutes away. So they actually travel home by bus. But usually they go home by just bicycles. You know, they ride their bicycles or they walk. Or very rare cases, sometimes their parents / grandparents / relative comes and picks them up. And, you know, that's my daily routine. I hope I covered everything. If I didn't, please comment below and let me know what you want to know more about. If you have any questions, concerns, etc. I'll probably make a follow-up video in the future, but definitely if there's something specifically you want me to talk about, please just comment down below. If you found this video useful, you can like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Alright guys, see ya!